Tom Clark's 6M podcast is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show. Hey, what is up? Welcome to Tom Clark's 6M podcast. I'm your host, Tom Clark, and in this episode I'm joined by co-host Phil Lindsey. From the world of animation comes one of the most popular Cartoon Network series of all time, featuring two lovable slackers, trapped in jobs they don't want, surrounded by equally lovable co-workers, all of whom embark together on supernatural and cosmic adventures while trying to protect the public park they call home. We're talking about Regular Show. Regular Show is an animated series created by J.G. Quintel. The show is a Cartoon Network original and was produced by Janet Diamond and Ryan Slater. Regular Show's two main characters are a blue jay named Mordecai and a raccoon named Rigby. Mordecai and Rigby work as groundskeepers at a local public park, but often shirk their responsibilities in favor of slacking off and playing video games. The duo's antics often get them in trouble with their boss, Benson, a gumball machine who is usually stressed out and angry over Mordecai and Rigby's lack of focus while on the job. Other workers at the park include Pops, a character with a lollipop head who is the adopted son of Mr. Mallard, the original park owner. Skips, an immortal yeti who often helps Mordecai and Rigby when they get in trouble. Muscle Man, a rowdy green tough guy, and his best friend High Five Ghost, a floating ghost with a hand on his head, round out the main cast. Regular Show often features many different pop culture references, specifically 1980s pop culture, which is often used as a recurring theme in the series. The voice cast for Regular Show includes Quintel, as well as Mark Hamill, William Sailors, Roger Craig Smith, and Sam Marin. The characters often find themselves in many bizarre situations, which sometimes includes space travel as well as time travel, with Mordecai and Rigby typically being at the epicenter of each adventure. The pilot episode of Regular Show premiered on August 14, 2009, and immediately received rave reviews from viewers and critics alike. The show was praised for its mix of comedy, sci-fi, and action, all of which made it stand out from the rest of the programming on Cartoon Network at that time. The series ran for 8 years and featured 261 episodes, as well as a movie. During its run, Regular Show was nominated for many different awards and won a Primetime Emmy Award for the excellent episode in 2012. Regular Show continues to be appreciated by a loyal fan base that keeps the series and its beloved characters alive. The show remains one of the most popular that Cartoon Network has ever featured, and its fans enjoy the series to this day. And that's the lowdown on Regular Show. A lot of times here on the 6M podcast, we talk about big monumental subjects. It's one of the best albums of all time. It's one of the best movies of all time, one of the best TV shows of all time, one of the best characters of all time. In fact, I've put the phrase of all time in a lot of the lowdowns, a lot of the openings that you hear at the very beginning intro of each one of these episodes. It's become a habit. It's become something I've kind of done from day one. It's one of the, what I like to call the signature aspects of the show. You get a lowdown at the beginning to kind of let you know what we're going to cover. And then we get to the story or to the topic itself. And then we do an ad here or there. Then we take it home at the end. That's kind of how we roll here on the 6M. I don't know if I've got that for this one because we're not going to exactly be talking about one of the best animated series of all time. We're not exactly going to be talking about an award-winning animated property that's known throughout the world. However, if you're a fanboy, if you're a nerd, or if you just like some funny animation, then this is going to be right down your alley because this time we're talking about Regular Show. And we were discussing last time we recorded, Phil, about what kind of animated property we could tackle, and we touched on the heavy hitters like Akira. Akira seems like one that will eventually happen on the 6M. I just feel like everybody and their brother has talked about Akira for a long freaking time, and it deserves it. It is a classic, and maybe one day we'll get there. But sometimes I just like to talk about stuff that I just personally find cool or find funny that maybe the rest of the world doesn't talk about all that much. So it's kind of a different one this time for us. What about Regular Show, man? How often have you watched this show? Is it something you just put on any time, or do you actually sit down to like marathon some episodes back to back?
I used to watch it every time I saw it on, but once I became a cord cutter, I would binge watch it sometimes. When it's on Hulu, I would just watch a bunch of episodes in one sitting. And they're like pretty quick episodes, right? They're like what, like 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah, 18 maybe, something like that. Yeah, not very long.
So yeah, you could end up watching a ton of them in a row and just not even think about it.
Yeah, easily digestible. I liken regular show to like a bag of M&Ms. You can just start eating and then you're just kind of snacking, and next thing you know, half the bag is gone. You're like, oh my god, I'm gonna get fat off this stuff. Uh, it's different, man. It's very different. If you try to explain regular show to somebody that's never seen it, good luck. Because it's like, all right, so the two main characters are a raccoon and a blue jay, and they work in a park, and there's an old dude there that's got a lollipop for a head, and their boss is a gumball machine, and there's a yeti that's there who skips instead of walks, and just two, three characters in, you're like, what are you talking about? Like, it sounds like someone either dropped a whole lot of acid or smoked a whole lot of weed before working on this thing. Uh, Dude, off the top of my head, I don't know of any animated property that is this eclectic in terms of characters. It's weird, man. Again, I'm sitting here trying to think about what other. I mean, I guess something from Cartoon Network, maybe, or maybe Adult Swim. Adult Swim, probably. I don't know, dude. It's weird because like regular show and with a little bit more warped sense of humor, maybe a little bit more dark undertones, you could actually envision this thing being on Adult Swim because it's sort of that kind of hybrid of modern humor but goofy cornball with weird characters. It's weird, man. In another universe, this is like an Adult Swim hit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
It again, I try to explain this to people, but my wife and I watched several of the episodes. When my kid was younger, he really liked regular show, and we had to watch it all the time because, as you said before, they're easily digestible. The show was created by J.G. Quintel, and there's kind of a long story behind how it was created. A lot of it was based off of his experiences in college. So, as we get started here, we've got Mordecai and Rigby as are the two protagonists of the show. They're the heroes' kids, and when this show takes place in this weird reality they're all living in, these guys are 23 years old. They're slackers, kind of Gen Xers to a certain degree. They just kind of lay about all day and don't do much. And um, there's a lot of pop culture references in this show, a lot of comic book type situations, a lot of supernatural stuff. Dude, it seems like the plot to every show is basically the same. They do something stupid, and then like something supernatural happens. It's like almost every episode, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like they are really good at doing like niche, um, either comic book stuff or anime stuff that if you don't know what they're riffing off of, you might not, you might not think it's as good. Although it's still accessible, but I mean, for people that are into like video games and all the stuff that they're riffing off of, it makes it even better. Like the
Yeah.
episode where they're trying to win the glove, and it's a riff off of that old glove that used to be in the gamer magazines.
Ah, very good. So you bring up a good point because by comparison, and I don't know why we've never done a Rick and Morty episode, by the way, here on the 6M. But Rick and Morty is laced with pop culture references, references to movies and TV shows and books and real life stuff that's thrown in there sometimes. And there's a lot of, depending on who you listen to, man, that breaks down Rick and Morty. There's a lot of deep, well thought out connections within the entire course of that universe. I don't know if I'm getting that from regular show. It seems like a bunch of unrelated stuff. Do you sense any sort of Rick and Morty thing going on with regular show at all?
Yeah, I think it came around that same time. It has that same kind of tone of kind of getting into weird stuff or getting into not
Hmm.
necessarily stuff you would usually see in a kid's cartoon. Although I wouldn't say Rick and Morty is for kids.
No, no, not at all. Uh, so before we really get ramping up here, who's your favorite character on the show? Who do you like the most?
uh Probably Mordecai, just because Mordecai. um, it, I mean, Mordecai is the most easy to like, but probably the funniest is Rigby by
Yeah.
far.
I'm a Muscle Man guy. I like Muscle Man a lot because he's such a like everybody kind of thinks he's cool, but they called him out on the my mom jokes. Do you remember that one? Like they actually called him out and said, "I don't know why you do that all the time." And he's like, "What did you say, bro?" And he's like, he's getting all upset, and they can't believe that they called him out on it. What a weird character that is, man.
Yeah, yeah. There's several episodes where he gets he gets either caught in a as the butt of the joke, or something happens and it's like he's he's not as cool as they think, but at the end of the episode it's right back to him being cool again. It's weird. Like the episode where the Muscle Dad episode,
Yes.
or um the episode where they pranked him with the lottery ticket.
Oh my god, it's so good. And he's great for the one-off sort of bits where he's got his shirt and he's throwing his shirt over his head. They did the episode where they go to see Fist Pump, which is like the '80s hair metal band, and all the guys are too old. And
Fist pump.
Fist Pump, and Vince is like, "What kind of moron would want to go see Fist Pump?" But then here comes Muscle Man on top of the golf cart, right, throwing his shirt in the air. See you later, grandmas. And the cart does a high, and of course, High Five Ghost is driving the cart. Yes, kids, High Five Ghost. It's a little ghost like from Pac-Man with a hand coming out the top of his head. You couldn't make this stuff up if you wanted to. That's a combo right there in and of itself as Muscle Man and High Five Ghost. And the irony of this is that Muscle Man's fat. He's not even muscled up.
Yes, I love. What episode is that where he gets into a fight with the guy and he gets punched in the face and like his man boobs flip up and hit him in the face and knock him
Oh,
out?
that's great.
I forget which episode that is. It is hilarious. Um, there's several episodes where he's supposedly so tough and he ends up trying to fight somebody and gets like obliterated. It's
That's
hilarious.
good. Yeah, he's kind of the tough guy, like inaccessible, and he's kind of off to himself. And um, I'd say that the guys are kind of intimidated by him because he's such a tough guy. He's kind of a dude bro. He's not as much of a dude bro as the unicorns, man. With the was the body spray that Mordecai had to have his hands on. I'm trying to remember the name of that stuff. Dude Time, that's what it was. Crazy. I remember that. And then of course the unicorns were causing trouble. And then Benson of all people was like, "Oh, you can't trust unicorns. Those guys are yeah, you should have known better." I'm like, "Okay, so in this reality unicorns are not to be trusted because they're a bunch of dude bros." So that's good to know. Uh so as we said, JG Quintel is the guy behind this, kind of the brains of the outfit. He does the voices of, I believe, Mordecai and High Five Ghost both. And yes, the show is Cartoon Network, of course. Mordecai and Rigby are the two main characters. We've got Muscle Man, we've got High Five Ghost. What about Skips? Skips is like the Ben Kenobi. He's the default wise old man, or sort of the sensei or the mage of the show, where he's like all sources of wisdom. And Skips has got connections to the supernatural, to otherworldly, to other planets, to other dimensions. Weird, all kinds of weird stuff. Like he's the hookup for a lot of the weird stuff that happens in the show. You know?
Yeah, I like the fact that Skips is just he's like a total he's a total representation of what the show is. He is this big, awkwardly muscular dude, and he's skipping. It just it's something that's so strange. It's like this big muscular yeti, and then they find a way to make it uh funny and ridiculous.
Why does he skip again? I've seen the episode, but I can't remember what happened.
Isn't he cursed to skip because of something? I forgot what happened to him. It's like he got caught in a loop where he has to skip. It's like a vow or something. I forgot what it is.
I think that's right. I'm drawing a blank on it. I don't watch the show as religiously as I used to, but I've seen a bunch of these episodes. Again, he's the source of a lot of the stuff for them. Like the episode where they threw him a surprise party, and he was doing this spirit dance in the woods as part of a pact with these babies, these giant babies. And the minute they find out they have cake, because Mordecai and Rigby go to save him, and the baby's like, "Cake? Does someone say cake?" And then they take the cake and smear it all over themselves instead of eating it. God, dude, this is such a weird show, man. I'm telling you.
yeah, it's a very very strange show. There's so many like weird references there that some of them I don't get, but some of them like you could totally understand like where it's riffing off of if you're a fan of like just stuff from the 80s, music from the 80s. Yeah, like I said, the Power Glove was a big 80s thing from like I think it's Nintendo magazine, just arcade games, anime, um but yeah, there's some like there's a lot of weird supernatural stuff that yeah, I would definitely say some of the stuff with skips. I'm just like, where where is this going?
I mean, it's very low tech. This show, not the animation, but like it's this reality that they're living in is very low tech. Like uh, their video games are the old style, like Atari. It's all flat one dimensional games and like Dig Dug or something, and it's very like Pitfall and those type of games is what they're playing. And like to them, that's high tech. It's still cartridge based games with the black joysticks. I mean, have they legit said that this show takes place in the 80s? Because I don't know if they ever flat out said that.
No, I don't think they have, but it clearly like there's clearly nods to the 80s.
Mm.
Like there's a lot of references to 80s stuff. I mean, whether it be music or I mean even some of the tech like like the gaming console they were playing on that doesn't look like a recent gaming console.
No. I think it's just because they're so broke. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Because I think Rigby sleeps on the trampoline, like a mini trampoline. That's his bed. Because they're so broke working in a park. I imagine working in a park, you don't get much money, and they're horrible at whatever it is they're supposed to be doing. They're slackers and they're horrible at it. Because Benson, another character in the show, kids, Benson is the walking, talking gumball machine. I love Benson. That voice, you know, like clean the yard or you're fired. Just that constant threatening to fire them all the time. Uptight, always mad, always fuming, always red in the face. Literally crazy.
I think my favorite Benson episode is the Peeps episode where he buys the he gets buying the cameras to watch them.
Oh my god, I'm trying to remember that one.
He buys the Peep surveillance and that doesn't work, and so he keeps upgrading Peeps until it's just this giant eyeball following them around.
Of course it is. That's right. Yeah. Because what starts off innocently in this show becomes something that's way out of their control. And by the time it happens, you're like, well, of course it's a giant eyeball, because of course it is, because that's what's going to happen.
I almost want to say that the Peeps episode is like the pilot episode. I think it's like the first episode of the show. Because that's the one that he Mordecai ends up having a staring contest with Peeps to to get it to go away, and Rigby blasted in the eye with the laser pointer.
Let's see. Pilot is, let's see, Mordecai and Rigby play a game of rock, paper, scissors over a couch. It leads to dangerous results.
Okay,
So
then
that's the pilot.
okay, then yeah, maybe it's that pilot episode.
Yeah. Dude, there's been a bunch of episodes of this show, man. I didn't realize how many. 261 episodes over 8 seasons.
I cannot say that I've seen all of those episodes. I
That's
probably have
crazy.
not.
That's a long week. I mean, they're short episodes, but if you want to binge them all, kids, like it seriously binge all 8, you're going to be watching for a while. That's crazy. But they're easily digestible, as we said before. And supposedly, according to the notes here, each episode took like 9 months to do to fully animate, voice, record, and everything. So that's a lot of time, dude. I had no idea they were on the air for that long. That's crazy.
I would have gotten that wrong too. I would not have guessed that.
No way. I wouldn't have thought that either. Um, Let's talk about Pop's giant lollipop head. He is like old timey, like from the Victorian era. He has the old style, like 1950s phone or 19, yeah, like with the handheld and you talking to the like the Andy Griffith show or something. And he wears like the little top hat and he's very prim and proper and no one knows how old he is. Dude, he, I don't know what to make of the character, man. I like him a lot though. I think he's hilarious.
Um, yeah, I like Pops just because he'll show up and there'll be a random Pops episode, and there's at least like two memorable Pops episodes. There's the rap battle episode, um, which I think the voices of the rappers are like Tyler the Creator and Donald Glover.
I think that's right. Yeah.
That's a great episode. And Pops ends up getting mad because he doesn't want to be too mean to the rappers. He wants to do like
Right.
he wants to do like actual poetry. And then there's the guys' night out episode where um they dare Pops to drink an entire gallon of milk. Yeah, he keeps trying to do it and pass it out.
Yeah, he's a sweet old man. That's what he is. He's a very sweet old man. Yeah, that's awesome. The show started in 2010. 2010. You believe that crap?
Yeah, wow, I didn't know it was on that long.
I didn't either. God, time sucks, man. Time just insane. Well, there's your main cast, kids. That's the main cast of regular show. The main core, anyway. We've got other characters that show up eventually. Let's see. Rigby's brother shows up. What is his brother's name? I'm trying to remember. Don. Don's his brother.
Yeah.
Bro, give me some sugar. It's such weird stuff, man.
The fact that he's just like Rigby, but like tall and more like masculine shaped, and he's wearing no clothes. It just looks so weird.
Yeah. And he points out that Rigby's naked, and you never think about it until you see him, and he's totally naked. Oh my God, he's naked.
But yeah, Rigby, every now and then, Rigby will wear like a jacket or something. He'll wear clothes. So yeah, I guess like when they go to the future to try and learn how to play instruments, and their future selves are like cool rock stars. They're wearing clothes.
And they're British.
Yeah.
Because of course they are. Yeah, it's a very Bill and Ted episode right there. Mordecai and the Rigbys.
Yeah,
because they're future selves. And turns out that they were faking the whole time. Of course they were. Yeah, very Bill and Ted. One of my favorites from season 1, and there's a lot of good ones in season 1. Season 1's a fun season. Rigby's body, when they eat so much crap that Rigby's like soul or what have you leaves his body, and he just wants to keep eating. And Mordecai's like, he keeps telling, dude, I'm telling you, if you don't stop doing this, something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's a good episode. I feel like he always does something where he overindulges, and he ends up getting in trouble because of it. Like I feel like that's his character arc for most of the show. He just overindulges all the time.
He is. We've all got that one friend that's bad influence. Like you like him, but he's kind of he's cool to you, but you can see why other people are creeped out by him, or they don't like to hang out with him. But like, because he's always getting into some kind of trouble. Everybody's got one friend they can relate that to. So, yeah, because in the episode he's like, well, at least what does he say? Put some chips down my trash hole, because he's got them in a trash can. And he's content to just roll around this trash can and not have a body anymore. The Prank Callers episode, a very 80s throwback, because they've got the old style huge phone like from the 80s, which Pops had too, and Mordecai and Rigby thought they were awesome. Again, very low tech.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that is another. That's why I'm like, I wonder what time period this show takes place in, because there are a lot of like low tech things in here. Like even the computer they use in the in the break room, it doesn't look like a recent computer. It looks like an
No.
old like '90s Macintosh.
Yeah, no kidding. Windows, IBM. Let's see, season 2. I'm just looking over here the list and everything. What about the car, the British car? It's like a
Hello,
horror
governor.
movie. Hello. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Um, that episode is great. There's if you're an MF Doom fan, he samples that for a song. I can't remember. Well, I mean, it's probably the name of the song is Governor. I think it's off his JJ Doom's album.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Yeah, the Peeps episode actually takes place season 2, episode 4.
Ah, well, I was way off. I said pilot episode.
Let's see. Party Pete. You gotta love Party Pete showed up more than one episode, I think.
Yeah.
He was awesome. Was he Russian or German? I think he was German, supposedly. Party Pete.
I don't know his that accent. I can't. I don't know what his accent is, but it's just hilarious. It
Yeah.
just strikes me like all of those like old '80s commercials and stuff like that. Like the Dos Equis guy before there was a Dos Equis guy.
Yeah, very true. He's always got chicks around him. Yeah, let's see what else. Brain Eraser.
Oh,
Benson gets
is that the episode where? Remind me what that one's about. Frame racer.
So Benson gets demoted and has to work with Mordecai and Rigby. That's the
Oh,
liner
that's
notes
right.
for it.
That's right. He gets demoted, and it basically becomes a slacker like them. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Brain Eraser. Oh my God, this song. This is my jam. Episode 13 of season 2. I think it's what was the song about the summertime? I think it's what it is.
The funny thing is, I don't remember the actual song that he had stuck in his head. I remember the song that they made to get the song out of his head, which also became catchy.
Oh my God, yeah. And now I'm trying to remember how it goes.
What the song they made?
Yeah.
The song is "Aw Snap, Aw Snap." Come to
That's
our
it.
macaroni party, then we'll take a nap.
Yeah. That's great. That's a number 1 hit waiting to happen, kids. Oh my God, that's awesome. I love that. I'd forgotten all about that. I've seen that one so many times. It's crazy. My kid got stuck. My kid has always had this thing where like he'll get stuck on something. He'll get stuck on one song or he'll get stuck on like we watched so much SpongeBob over the years, man, but he gets stuck on one SpongeBob episode and have to watch that same one every single day. So this is my jam he was stuck on for a good while. So I saw that particular episode a whole bunch. But it's good, it's hilarious. I'm just glad he gets stuck on stuff that dad enjoys too. So it's all good with me. Let's see. Muscle Woman. I mean, if your name is Muscle Man, how convenient is it that your girlfriend's name is Muscle Woman?
Yeah, that has always been weird that his girlfriend looks very similar to him.
Yeah. It's him with pigtails and lipstick.
What is her name? Is it Starla? Is that like that?
Yeah, Starla. I think. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, what is Muscle Man? What is Muscle Man? I've had this debate with other people in the past. We know what the other characters are supposed to be. What is Muscle Man a whatever, or is he like a human? What is he exactly? Do we know?
I guess he's about as close to a human character we get on the show. I mean, no, we've seen other human characters.
Yeah, he's a monster. It looks like he's a Frankenstein monster to me.
He does.
Short and
I
fat.
don't know.
So weird. Yeah, I can't make out what he is, honestly. I'm sure there's an answer out there, but I don't have it in front of me. Um, let's see. What else from season 2 stands out? Really bad, really real wrestling. Uh, Mordecai and Rigby are wrestling fans, so I gotta appreciate that.
I mean, of
Mordecai and
course
Rigby.
they're wrestling fans. They're into every cool like prepubescent thing that was hot in the 80s. And in the 80s,
Yep.
wrestling was it because that was still that era of Hogan and like the golden era of WWE. So it makes sense.
Yep, for sure. The guys have love interests. We meet Margaret in season one, who's a Robin, I guess is what she's supposed to be, and Mordecai is smitten with her from the jump. And then in I think it's season two, we meet her best friend, who ends up falling for Rigby. So now Rigby's got a girl too. What is her? Is it Eileen? Is that her name?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's right. Yeah. So they're not total losers. I mean, they are still losers, but at least they got women. So let's see. So Benson is like the guy that sort of oversees the park. He's the guy that runs the show. Um, yeah, and they've got the park's a big deal. They've had a feud with a rival park across town before, and they actually go to war with that park. And I'm trying to remember what episode that's in. Yep. So basically, as we said before, they're just two 23-year-old guys. They're groundskeepers. That's what their job title is. There you go. Their job title is groundskeepers. So, yeah, the only thing we know about Muscle Man is he's a fat green dude with black hair. He's got like a flat head. Let's see. Season 3, Terror Tales of the Park. That's a good one where they're telling horror stories, like scary stories. Let's see. Skip Strikes, where they're bowling, and one of the babies is there. What is the Guardians of Youth? That's what the babies are called, the Guardians of Youth. And that's where we get his. I don't know if we get his origin story there, but that's where you find out that Skips is a pro bowler. Yeah, but he's got a bowl deaths team. Very weird. Let's see what else from season 3. Slam Dunk, the basketball episode. That's a good one.
Is that the episode where they kept playing basketball against Muscle Man for a chance to use the computer?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That one is funny. I think it's just so funny that Muscle Man is just so out of shape and he's just beating them at basketball. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and he's again, if there's an athlete of this bunch, apparently it's Muscle Man. Who would have thunk it? Cool Bikes, that's a great one. I love that episode. They take their bikes and like fix them up, and then everybody thinks they're cool. I think they got like tinfoil and spray paint and stuff all over them or whatever it is. Let's see. Skips versus technology. Skips wants to help Mordecai and Rigby with their computer problems. And that one character that shows up quite a bit, he's green as well. Looks like he's like from an Armageddon type of scenario. I'm trying to remember the character's name. That's one thing I'll say about this universe, kind of like South Park, where they have characters they'll introduce, they'll bring them back after X number of episodes, and they're part of the little fabric of the universe that these guys have created. Tom Clark's 6M podcast is sponsored in part by Radius Law Group. Every day, Radius helps individuals, families, small businesses, and nonprofit organizations throughout North Carolina, Florida, and Pennsylvania resolve their legal issues by providing effective legal counsel in the areas of estate planning, as well as elder law and Medicaid. Radius Law holds the radical belief that working with a lawyer can indeed be enjoyable. So give them a call at 1-800-519-5667 for more information and tell them that Tom Clark's 6M podcast sent you. So I can appreciate storytelling to that magnitude, even if it is a goofball.
Yeah. They have brought back villains on the show, or like antagonists, if you want to call them, a villain on the show several times like that.
Yeah. Gut model. Oh, I remember that one. Muscle Man's a gut model.
Yeah, every time I think about that, I think of the Mordecai and Rigby rap they did for him.
Yeah.
It's going away.
Oh man, such good stuff. The show has received great reviews, which is cool. Because why not? What's there to hate here? Really? I mean, it's just a goofball show. It's not a political statement. It's not a woke kind of show. It's just goofball comedy. This is like, I don't know, Mike Judge from Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill. It's just goofball comedy. That's all it is. I mean, I don't know. I'm for
Yeah,
some brainless entertainment sometimes.
yeah. I feel like the creator of regular show. If you saw him, he looks like exactly what you think Mordecai would look like in real life.
Oh yeah, big time. And that's who he said that Mordecai is essentially him in the show, his character and everything, kind of person he is.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I mean, doesn't he do the voice for Mordecai?
Yes.
Okay, there you
Yeah. Replaced from season 3. That's a great one, dude. A replacement for Rigby, and it's a possum, an ostrich and a possum, which essentially are taking Mordecai and Rigby's places in the park.
Oh, yeah. I remember. I don't know why when you said replace, I thought of the episode when they did the video game tournament and Mordecai did pick Rigby and he was upset about the whole episode.
Because Rigby's horrible at games. He's terrible at them. He just presses random buttons.
What the song he was playing outside of their hotel, like at a boombox?
Yes. God, I can't remember.
It's something
Hey,
like, "Why do your friends pick other friends when they know it?"
they didn't spend a lot of coin on the soundtrack to this show until they've gotten the very last episode, "Heroes" by David Bowie. I mean, that's some money being spent right there, dude.
In the episode where they were playing an arcade game, um, Broken Bones, that was the name of it, where they had to do like the Daredevil tricks on a motorcycle. They
Right?
played New Kids on the Block.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. Wonder how much that was. Couldn't have been. You would think that wouldn't be too pricey. I don't know.
Yeah, Hank and Tough is what played over the montage up
Oh,
there.
I forgot all about that, dude. You're right. Yeah, I've been
Um,
binging some episodes lately, but not a ton of them.
there was another like '80s song. I'm sure they used "You Got the Touch" at one point.
Oh, classic from the Transformers movie. Holy God. And dude, in reference to that film, the song totally works. But when you take it out of the context of that movie, it's as cheeseball 1980s as you can possibly get. For sure.
Yeah, isn't if I remember correctly, didn't they use the "You Got the Touch" for the episode with the ducks where they do like the Super Sentai homage with like the big mech?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Because the baby ducks have make it more than one appearance. They come back more than once in the show too.
Yes, they do.
Baby ducks. Rigby gets mentored by Muscle Man, where Muscle Man's carrying him around like a baby in a harness on his chest.
Rig baby.
Rig baby, that's good. That's good
The
stuff.
I think Mordecai, no, not Mordecai, but Rigby and Muscle Man's relationship is just so hilarious because there's at least more than one episode where he spends the entire time making fun of him. And like at the end of the episode, like Rigby either blows up on him or something. Like the trash boat episode is like that when he changed his name.
Yes.
Um, there's another episode like that. Oh, when he couldn't do a pull up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like if you're too cool to hang out with Muscle Man, there's got to be something wrong with you because Muscle Man is not exactly the picture of hipness, but in this reality, Muscle Man seems to be pretty cool. So
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that he is seen as cool on the park because he's worked there the longest and he knows more than they do.
right, because I think Benson at one point says he's interrupting him during a speech and he says, "If you say my mom, you're fired." And he stops, looks at Ghost, and he goes, "My mom," and finishes the joke. He's like, "Get out!" Muscle Man's like, "Totally worth it." And of course, he high fives Ghost. So he's sort of the rebel of the group, I would say. Let's see. Season 3 sees a progression of Mordecai and Margaret's relationship because at one point she's got a boyfriend, and of course he's like a punk rocker that looks like he'll just kill you. Because you can't just let the hero have the girl in season 1. That's not how things work here.
Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot on the show. Like there's a lot of times where um he's trying to get Margaret. He's trying to date Margaret. There's always like some guy that shows up. Like that episode that there's that other big bird guy, and it turned out to be like just a friend or something.
Yeah, she's kind of flighty. She's kind of a tease, maybe we could say. Which is not fair. Mordecai's a good dude. Probably the best dude in the whole show.
What's the other character he dated for a second? And the cloud.
That's
With
right. I
CJ.
forgot
There you
about
go.
her. The cloud. Just talking about it's weird. Like,
Gets mad at him, and she like turns into like a big gray cloud and starts like storming.
yeah. There's other characters that show up. Thomas, who's like a goat. I guess he's a billy goat.
Oh yeah, Thomas is like he comes and he's like the reoccurring character, and then like in the movie, don't we find out like I forgot what's his story in the movie.
The movie's good. The movie was the time traveling bit, right?
Yeah. Oh, I cannot remember his backstory, but like he had like a whole intricate backstory. That connected to like all the way from the beginning of the show. Like, didn't he travel back in time or something?
I think that's right. I'm trying to piece it together. I've seen that movie a bunch. That movie is actually pretty good. I mean, as good as you're going to get for a goofball cartoon, kids. Let's keep it in context here. But
It's been a minute since it's been a minute since I've seen all of them. Um, a back to back. I haven't seen a movie in a while, but I know that there's like a whole backstory for Tom and why he showed up.
yeah, I like that character. Yeah, formerly of Russia.
That's right.
Which is weird. I hadn't remembered that at all. The real name Nikolai is a recurring character in a regular show. Yep, debuted in season 4. Yep, supposedly he was working at the park for college credit. He was actually a Russian spy named Nikolai, sent to America to infiltrate the park and steal it for Russia using massive rockets so they could improve their parks. What?
That's right. I knew it was like some intricate backstory that he was hanging around and it was like he was like undercover or something.
Yeah. However, when it was discovered Russia actually intended to blow the park up as a way around treaties, attempted to murder anyone on it, he turned the landmass around, saving his friends. At first, at the end of the episode, he would like to be employed at the park. However, he is unable to work there anymore due to his current status, now on the run from both the U.S. and Russia. As he left to hide from U.S. and Russia, Rigby notes, "You'll always be Thomas to us."
That's right. I forgot. That's what it was. I forget there was like a whole backstory of and like they like explained why he just showed up and all of that stuff. But yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, Thomas is a good character. At first, I was like, this is just a weird character to throw out of nowhere. But yeah, he ended up being a pretty good character.
Voiced by Roger Craig Smith, who also happens to do the voice of Chris Redfield in Resident Evil, Sonic the Hedgehog, Ezio Auditore in Assassin's Creed, and Batman Arkham Origins. Well.
Yeah, I didn't know his whole his whole resume.
Yeah.
What's the? There's an episode where Thomas gets a brain freeze, right? And he's like, he's like sitting there twitching, and they have to go inside his head to thaw it or something. Right?
Oh my God, I don't think I know that one.
It's a very weird episode.
Yeah, that's Muscle Man, voiced by Sam Marin, which I believe is how you pronounce his name. He also voices Benson, Pops. Oh, Benson, Pops, and Muscle Man is the same guy. Wow, I don't know if I could have said that Benson's voice is Muscle Man's voice. That's actually, I don't think I connected those two in my. Sometimes you can hear, similar, especially on South Park, you can hear if it's Trey Parker doing more than one voice in a scene. But I don't know if I could have pieced together that the same guy was doing Benson and Muscle Man. Or Pops. I actually. Maybe Pops and Benson sound more like than Muscle Man does. Just Set Up the Chairs. That's a good episode. I think that was back in season 1. Pretty sure. 150-piece kit. We find out Benson's like a great drummer.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot how they found out.
Dude, one of my favorite, it's off topic here or off that episode. One of my favorite episodes, the fireworks, where they go to Muscle Man's guy and he's like, "You want to buy some fireworks?" And he's all upset. He's like, "You come to me? What?" And it's, oh my god, it's so good. It's like they're buying like weapons or something, like arms from this guy out of his car, and it's like illegal fireworks. Have you've seen the fireworks episode that I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
And again, of course, the smallest things turn into something much, much bigger. Let's see. World's Best Boss. There's a reference right there to Office Space. For sure. Because it looks just like Bill Lumbergh. He's got the suspenders, the red tie, the glasses, the coffee mug. The part guys want to give Benson a World's Best Boss mug, which sounds like a simple plot, but of course it gets blown way up. Party Pete shows up again in season 4. Let's see. Season 5, kids, if you're keeping count. Let's see. Benson's car. The golf cart plays a huge role in this show. That thing actually came to life at one point.
Remember when they wrecked the golf cart and they had to like take it to get it fixed, and like that was a whole road trip episode.
Yes.
That is a great episode.
God, it's so ridiculous. So ridiculous, but it's so good at the same time. Portable toilet, guitar of rock. Return of Mordecai and the Rigbys. Yeah. Season 5 may be about the time where I don't want to say I lost the show, but I wasn't watching as much as I had before, like the first 4 episodes.
I'm pretty sure I kept up with it, but it's been a while. It's so many episodes, apparently. I didn't.
Oh
so many episodes.
So many. It's crazy how many there are. I never would have guessed that many, dude. Not a million years. Let's see. The Halloween episode is always cool. Terror Tales of the Park. They did several of those. Sort of like the Simpsons always doing their Halloween episode, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they always do a pretty weird Halloween episode. They have like a random Christmas episode too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I think they actually started doing one every time Christmas came around. They had a Christmas episode. It may have started off as random, but I think they actually went for it all the time. Didn't Muscle Woman leave Muscle Man like she didn't marry him? Episode 6, Dumped to the Altar, is the last episode. But I think they're together because by the end of the show, they're together and they have a kid because the show does a weird flash forward. Death Quan Do pops up, which is like white boy mullet kung fu, which cut off denim shorts and headbands.
Yes, that episode is hilarious. Isn't that the same episode with like the meatball sandwiches as well?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the food in this show is also ridiculous. Like the ultimatum.
Yeah. Meatball sub. Oh my God, my kid went on a meatball sub kick for the longest time because of this show.
Meatball sub. The ultimatum, which is a burger cooked inside of a burger. Apparently.
Yes. What about Cheezers, which actually sounded like an amazing sandwich?
Cheezers. The excellent challenge with
Yep, that's right.
I think the visual gag in excellent challenge episode is one of my favorite. I don't care how many times I see it. I'm like in tears laughing at it. Of Rigby making this big deal about he has to go and do this excellent challenge and try and eat this giant omelet. And like he takes a few bites of it, and then it just like you don't see anything else. You just cut to him being wheeled away in an ambulance. He's allergic to eggs.
Yeah,
What
he barely.
He said something like, "I thought if I ate it fast enough, I wouldn't realize I was allergic."
Didn't he spend the whole episode getting ready to eat the thing too?
No, Mordecai spent the rest of the episode training to do it.
That's right.
And this was after Rigby did it the first time, ended up in the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, the movie's actually, like again, I really enjoyed the movie. I'm trying to think about when it came in the timeline. Let's see. The film came 2015, 2016. Yep, digital download September 1st, 2015. The DVD by October 13th. So there you go. Yeah, I dug it. I liked it a lot. Let's see what else season 6 brings us. The Brilliant Century Duck Crisis Special. God, just the titles of some of these things is crazy. Yeah, a lot of stuff. If you pay attention, like I kind of feel like the show rewards you for being a viewer from day one. Like they'll bring back characters that in your head, you can go back and say, "Oh, I remember when this guy first appeared." I like callbacks like that, man.
Yeah, isn't the villain of the movie? Well, no, not the movie. It's another episode. It's like a long episode.
Mm.
Isn't the villain the guy from the arcade episode, the giant head, the BFG?
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They kept calling him no, giant beard face.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
that is not my name.
The prank caller guy was a villain, but by the end of the episode, he was on their side. And
Yeah.
then there was what was it, like a wizard that um, possessed the house or something like that. I'm trying to remember how that episode played out. Let's see what else. California King. Rigby wins a king size bed and throws his trampoline bed in the garbage. When he realizes that he can't sleep without the trampoline, he has to go through an elaborate junkyard to find it. Of course he does. Dude, a lot of the episodes from season 5 up through 8, nothing sounds familiar. And by season 8, they're in space. The entire park has a dome put around it, and the thing is transported to space.
Yeah, I don't think I
So
saw any of episode of season 8 then.
yeah, season 8 is like regular show in space is was another thing they called it. And it's a shock to the system if you don't know what's going on. You click season 1 of episode 8, and they're in space. You're like, what's going on? And the whole show, man, wraps up. They bring all the plot points home. They bring everything home. It's crazy. Yeah, this is just one of those odd episodes. Like, not odd, but again, kids, this is not groundbreaking animation. I like the animation. It's simple. It's clean. Looks good. Nothing overly intricate here going on. Not exactly intricate storytelling either, but it's fun. It's not supposed to be. I think this show knows exactly what it is all the time. And I like that about it. It doesn't try to be something it's not. It doesn't try to be pretentious. It's just a show about two friends. If you want to really boil it down to what it is, it's just a goofball show about two friends. That's it. Pops
Yeah.
has to fight the anti-pop, or not anti. What do they call him? It's like an antimatter or dark matter pops. It's really weird, dude. You got to look at season 8. It's crazy. Again, very watchable. So, do you have a favorite episode of the show?
In terms of, it's funny every time I see it. It's the Excellent Challenge. That one
Mm.
is just, it's just funny no matter how many times I've seen it. I really like the episode where they are playing a video game. I can't think of the name of the episode off the top of my head, but they're playing a video game and the TV breaks and they have to try and fix the TV.
Yeah.
And just everything about it is funny. Uh,
Rage
they make
Against
it.
the TV.
Maybe that's it, but they go to Muscle Man's trailer to borrow his TV, and he's so stupid. He picks the TV up and goes, "Sure, you can borrow mine." And he doesn't take the cord out of the wall. So he picks it up and it yanks and lands on the floor and breaks. So it gets all the way to the end of the episode, basically, and they end up. Of course, something weird happens because everything normal turns into a weird occurrence on the show. They get to the end of the episode and they end up using something to fix the TV that causes the boss from the video the game to come out of the TV, and they have to actually fight him physically.
Right.
Yeah, that's a hilarious episode.
Excellent. Is episode 17 of season 3.
Um, yeah, I really like the Ducks episode where they like do the whole Super Sentai, and they fight. Isn't it like another giant? It's like a duck or something. It has like 4 heads or something.
Yeah, I think so. That's insane. Again, it's just like people smoked a bunch of weed when writing this stuff. It's funny. I mean, it's funny. I'm just saying. Uh, a lot of the stuff I love is in season 2. I like but I have a receipt where they're trying to return a video game. And they're trying to tell him that they have a receipt for it, and the guy ends up pulling him into some sort of Dungeons and Dragons reality or some nonsense. It's really ridiculous, but I like the really real wrestling. I like because it's a wrestling episode. I can't help it. Um, the Bunch of Baby Ducks is a good one. That's season 3 also. Let's see, or season 2. My bad. Let's see, season 3. I don't know if I have. I think from season 1, Mordecai and the Rigby's. I really love that episode, and I love the movie quite a bit. So if I had to say, the Cool Bikes is a good one. All right, I like Cool Bikes. That's episode 3 or season 3 as well, episode 7. So there you go. So listen, what do you think? You gonna go binge the crap out of this and actually finish the whole show at some point, or what? It's a lot to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it this does make me want to watch the 8th season because I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I've seen any of the 8th season.
It's very different.
Uh, yeah, so I might check that out.
Well, kids, again, it's a different kind of episode. Not a lot of Oscar nominated stuff going on here. But again, this is a geek culture, pop culture podcast. And sometimes we touch on stuff that we kind of personally dig and enjoy here on the show. I highly endorse regular show. So go check it out. So, Phil, let's take this thing home. Give me your last word on regular show.
If you're looking for like a new-ish Cartoon Network show just to watch, just fun to watch that kind of sits in that spot after the cartoon era, regular show is a good jumping on point. I feel like something like Steven Universe is a good jumping on point, but I almost feel like regular show is more accessible. Yeah, I think it's a funny show. Every now and then it'll have some decent action for what it is. But it's a good show.
Yeah, I agree. I dig it. I do enjoy the show. I still watch it from time to time. Like you said, going back and doing this show now makes me want to go. Makes me go want to check out more episodes, ones that I haven't seen yet. It occurs to me as we take this thing home and wrap this stuff up that I don't think we ever mentioned who does the voice of Rigby, which is he's the other primary protagonist in this show. Um, let's see, William Sailors, William Salyers maybe. So yeah, had to give him a shout out. Didn't want to just not do that. So there you go. Does Rigby on regular show. So there you go. Yeah, I second what Phil said, kids. It's a fun show. It's good, mindless entertainment. There's a little bit of heart in here, but not so much that it makes you want to choke. They don't get preachy or anything like that. It's not I'll say it's smart animation in terms of uh, they know where to put the jokes. They know when to be goofball, and it's unapologetically goofy, which is fine. I can appreciate a show that knows exactly what it is, and that's what this show is. It's cool because there's a lot of friendship stuff happening in here, a lot of family themes. They bring all that back together in the very last episode of the show. They have a fitting send off for a show that is so bizarre, that is so weird. And yes, this show ends in a sort of a depressing way because we lose a main character in the very end. And I'm not going to tell you who it is. You'll have to go find that out. No spoilers for me on that one. But yes, if you want something fun to go check out, you can just, rattle these things off, man. Just binge. Not before you know it, you've watched 9 or 10 of them. They're easily watchable. I would always recommend this bit of animation. And that, kids, is regular show. Hey, thanks for listening to the show. Check out our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at 6M Podcast. We'll see you next time.